Hey, this is Sandy Rodriguez. How you doing today? I wanted to talk to you about what floats your boat, what keeps you going. Why is it, do you even know, why is it you keep pursuing something more, something outside your regular job, or that you won't go and sit down and get a regular job? Do you even know what that is? Well, I'll tell you. I had a revelation not that long ago from my mom. I asked her, I called her up way back in the day, not aging myself too much, but back in Jersey, there were these bond bread trucks, which in this world, it's a FedEx type of truck. It's the UPS, the ones with just the driver and big old cargo in the back. Well, I gotta tell you, I grew up not having too much respect for my dad. He was pretty much drinking all the time, rather abusive. But I called her up and I asked her, I said, why did Dad want to go? He passed away years ago. But why did Dad want to go to New Mexico? And as you know, I have my Latino husband who is from Jesse is from New Mexico, so I used to tell him we were meant to be. We were meant to meet, whenever that was. But I remembered my dad built probably the first RV out there. He actually created an RV out of one of those bond bread trucks or a UPS type truck, 6 bunks, toilet, closets, pantry, stove, refrigerator, everything. I'm in awe of what he did all by himself. My mom was not at all mechanical. Oh, wonder where I get that from. But he built it. So you take the 6 of us, the family of 6, 4 kids, and he was determined to get to New Mexico. And I just didn't know what the trip was. The camper had a bit of a flaw, just a tiny bit, in the back. It had the back door, and as we were driving through the hills, we can't call them mountains because if you've ever been out to the west, you don't want to call them mountains. The hills of Virginia, we, the 4 kids in the back, were getting sicker than sick. Well, apparently it was carbon monoxide poisoning because it was filtering in and keep coming back into the back. So we were, he's got 4 kids barfing in buckets back there. So he pretty much turned around, and I always felt kind of guilty that somehow we caused that, even though we didn't. But he never tried it again, and I always felt kind of bad that he did. I kind of wanted to go. I wanted to see the West. Didn't get much farther west than Pennsylvania back then. Well, I asked her what was driving Dad, and she said he wanted to raise minks. And I'm like, minks? Like, am I hearing this right, Mom? What are you talking about? Getting a little old. Woo. And she said, yeah, he wanted to raise minks. And I said, oh, it's because he had he used to live on the farm. I remember him talking about the farm and the cows. And she goes, no, your grandmother. My grandmother, God bless her, she was like 4 foot something. My grandfather was 6 foot something. Why is it all the short girls get the tall guys? Just not right. Okay, that's my 2 cents for the day. In any case, she wanted my grandfather, way back when was the Pennsylvania Railroad. Anybody that plays Monopoly knows the Pennsylvania Railroad, but it is long since gone. But he was a conductor on the Pennsylvania Railroad, my grandfather. She wanted him to come home, so she got this farm, and oh hell no, he wasn't kicking off that conductor outfit. So it wound up that my grandmother and my dad were the ones that wound up taking care of this farm. Well, that got a little too much. She's a tiny little thing, like I said. Wonderful, wonderful person. But so they got rid of that, and the next thing you know, they were in the furniture business, and my mom was talking about a fire. I mean, things just seemed to play against that spirit that they had. But what woke me up when I listened to this, I was such an ambitious kid. Still, I am ambitious. But I always thought it was because, well, I'm not going to be lazy like my dad. He actually invented caller ID without caller ID way back when the phones were not that way. The insanity of trying to get my friends to call was you ring 3 times, hang up, and call back. And then my grandmother got a hold of that, his mother-in-law, and it was like, oh, he didn't want to answer that. So it was ring 2 times, hang up if you really, really want to talk to us. My ex-husband, when he was dating me, thought, wow, these people are crazy. Still married me, wonder why. Long story short, I just thought he was lazy because he didn't want to, he was on call and he didn't want to go back to work. And he just wanted to go home and drink. And I finally figured it out. He had been trying so hard for so long, and he hated his job, and he just wanted more. And that was what was driving him. And I don't believe my mom was all that. Nah, I won't say. I'm sure I don't know. I won't say. But I have a partner that as we go through things, we find things we want to do together. If I won the lottery tomorrow, which I will not turn that down, but if I won the lottery tomorrow, would I still be driven? Yeah, actually, I think I would. No matter what, I can't sit around. I couldn't stay in the same job, for heaven's sakes. I'd definitely leave that. I'd want to be doing something. It's in me. It's in my blood. Is it in your blood? If it is, stick with it. Don't let it go. Don't let the dream die. Heaven knows you don't want to be sitting there drinking until you die. Just keep going. It's around the corner. It really is. And if you want to join our team with Big Idea Mastermind, click on the main bigideamastermind.com and we'll help you. We won't give up on you. And I hope this helps. It's just what floats your boat. It's not just, I want to do better for my kids. I mean, it could be. It definitely could be. But sometimes it's that spirit inside you. And I do believe I got that from him. And I strive so hard to be different than my dad. And it comes out that I'm a lot like my dad. And I have learned to realize why he drank. He's just so unhappy. Don't become unhappy. Just keep moving forward. Join Big Idea Mastermind, Empower Network. I'll help you get there. We'll help you get there. We won't leave you behind. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.